Now that brings us to our periodic tables. So go ahead and get your periodic table out at this time. Make sure that you're looking at that as I discuss this slide. So you already know how to find the atomic number and the atomic mass and the element symbol on your periodic tables. You should have already drawn a legend labeling those parts. So as you're looking at your periodic table, you should be able to find the numbers of protons, electrons, and neutrons fairly easily. So how do we know how many protons there are? Now, protons are equal to the atomic number. And again, that's going to be the top number in each of your element boxes on the periodic table. On my large periodic table on the wall, you'll notice that the kind of blue number in the top right corner. That's the atomic number, and the atomic number tells us how many protons are found in each element. Notice how the atomic number increases from left to right. So that's how the periodic table is actually arranged, in order of increasing atomic number. Protons are like the DNA of that atom. If I change the number of protons, I'm going to have a new element altogether. Now, neutrons are a little more complicated. We have to find the atomic mass, and we round that off. When we take the average atomic mass, which is that number located on the bottom of your, on each element box on the periodic table. For instance, find carbon on your periodic table right now. On the bottom of carbon's box, you'll notice it'll have a mass of about 12.01. That's its average atomic mass, and I'll talk about why we average that out later. But that average atomic mass, if we round it to the nearest whole number, which in carbon's case would be 12, now we, instead of referring to that as the average atomic mass, we will refer to that rounded off number as the mass number. So carbon has an average atomic mass of 12.01, and if we round it, we find that its mass number is 12. We take the mass number and we subtract away the number of protons to leave us with the number of neutrons. So, since carbon has an atomic number of 6 and it has a mass number of 12, I'm going to take 12 minus 6, which leaves me with 6 neutrons. Carbon has 6 neutrons. Now electrons, for right now, we're going to assume that the number of electrons are equal to the number of protons. Notice I put a little asterisk in a parentheses there. It says in a neutral atom. We're going to talk about isotopes and ions. Those are built right into set number 2's vocabulary. But for today, at least for right now, I want you to assume that every example that I have for you today on the worksheet you're going to work on in a moment, all of those elements will be neutral. So the number of electrons are equal to the number of protons. Since carbon has 6 protons, it also has 6 electrons. So if you're keeping track, carbon has 6 protons, 6 neutrons, and 6 electrons.